Hello, everybody. So today we're going to update my collection, and we're going to go one binder at a time. So this will be for case number 1, and starting off, I'm going to try and keep what I say about each movie to about a minute, just so this doesn't take incredibly long. So first up, we have Second Witness, the Elizabeth Panting story. This is a video that was put out by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and it's only about 22, 24 minutes, something like that. So it's pretty short, and it's about a miracle that occurred in the 1830s, roughly, with the pioneer trek of uh, members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints from, I think, New York to Utah, and it's a pretty good story. Um, like I said, it's a shorter segment of a movie later on in this case called 17 Miracles. This is featured in that movie as along with a bunch of other things. Um, yeah, there's the Second Witness, and then we have The Fifth Wave. This is an alien invasion story um, about Chloe Grace Moretz trying to find her brother who was taken to a military institution to be turned into a soldier to fight aliens that ended up looking like regular people. And um, the kids were each given implants in the back of their necks to make it seem like they were actual people or like humans because the aliens looked like the people. They had attached themselves to the brain of their hosts, and um, she does end up finding her brother and rescuing him and blowing up a military facility in the process, with the help of two of her friends, one from high school and one that she met during this invasion scenario. Um, and it's a pretty decent movie. I've seen it, I think, twice now, and I thought it was pretty good. I would recommend this. Um, Next up is a twofer because I have it on two formats. That is a DVD and a Blu-ray for the first 007 movie, Doctor No. Um, Doctor No, like I said, is the first of the James Bond movies, and it's not the first in the timeline. It's just the first one that was released. The first in the timeline is technically Casino Royale with Daniel Craig from like 2005 or something like that. This one is from 1962. It's an oldie, but a goodie. I recommend Doctor No. Okay, going forward, if I have something on more than one format, unless it has special printing on the disc, I'll only be showing one copy of it. So here is the Blu-ray of From Russia with Love, another James Bond movie. This one came out in '63. I have DVD and Blu-ray for it. I would recommend that one as well. Then we have Goldfinger on DVD and Blu-ray. Um, Goldfinger is an interesting story. There is a lady that ends up getting painted head to toe in gold. I think the actress might have died as part of the role because her skin was starved of oxygen for too long. But um, good movie. Goldfinger is the name of the bad guy in that, and it's a good story. I like that one. I would recommend that. Thunderball is one that I have on Blu-ray and DVD as well. Here's that one. Goldfinger came out in 64. This one came out in, not sure. Doesn't say on the disc when this particular one came out. 65. It says on the Blu-ray. So here is Thunderball on DVD. You'll notice this sticker on a lot of my movies, if I can get it to focus. It says Backstage Video. I used to get a lot of movies there. So you'll see throughout my collection that there are a lot of Backstage Video stickers on the discs themselves. That's just where I got them. Next up, one I only have on Blu-ray is You Only Live Twice. I got the 50-year James Bond collection on Blu-ray a while back. I think I did a haul video that included that. And this one came out in 1967, so there's a 1-year gap, a 2-year gap between this one and the previous one. And then from 1969 is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. If I'm not mistaken, this movie is 3 hours long. I don't remember much about this one. You Only Live Twice I started a while ago, but for some reason my James Bond Blu-rays don't like to start where I left off if I stop for any reason. So I haven't finished You Only Live Twice in recent memory. I have seen all the James Bond movies at one point, even the older like 80s version Casino Royale, which sucks. And it's thankfully not included in the Blu-ray set, as I don't think it was, I think they decided not to canonize it. But this one's really long, but it's a good story. It had a one-off Bond. The guy that played Bond in that was only Bond once, I believe. Next up, only on Blu-ray is Diamonds Are Forever. This one came out in 1971. I don't remember who stars as Bond in most of these. I know Man with the Golden Gun has Roger Moore in it. But yeah, anyway. Diamonds Are Forever. I don't remember much about this one, so I don't really have much to say about it. Again, on Blu-ray only is Live and Let Die. It has a catchy song. Live and Let Die is the title song, as well as the title of the movie. And this one came out in 1973, obviously. Man with the Golden Gun on DVD and Blu-ray. This one I know is a Roger Moore movie. It has Christopher Lee as the bad guy. Makes a great bad guy, let me tell you. He plays the titular character, the Man with the Golden Gun, although the Man with the Golden Gun is not his name. It's more of a title of prestige. His name is Mr. Scaramanga. Try saying that 10 times fast. But it's a good story, good character development, good amount of action. Yeah, I would recommend that one. The Spy Who Loved Me, only on Blu-ray. I have that one came out in 1974. This one is 1977, a 3-year turnaround. Spy Who Loved Me was a pretty good story. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember it was an enjoyable story. Moonraker is basically, on Blu-ray and DVD, is basically James Bond meets Star Wars, because the final fight sequences are aboard a space station. Death Star. But not really. That one came out in 1979. And then I have one disc. For Your Eyes Only, I believe that is Roger Moore on that disc. This one came out in 1981. I have the Blu-ray as well. For Your Eyes Only was pretty good. I enjoyed the story that they presented there. I know I've gone through more than 9 titles in this 9-minute video so far, or 10 minutes. Finished talking. Next up, we have the Blu-ray and the DVD for Octopussy, which came out in 1983. It has a purpley disc for the DVD. It's kind of a light, faint purple. That's a good story about a lady who has an octopus that she calls her little Octopussy. I believe the character's name is also Octopussy. And yeah, Octopussy is one of many beautiful women in this. I recommend that. And only on Blu-ray we have A View to Kill, from 1985. Octopussy is 83. A View to Kill. I don't remember a whole lot about this movie. I'll have to rewatch this pretty soon. I've been going through and watching all of my movies, and I've made it to the DC universe, which I have all of the DC properties under DC in the D section. But that is not covered in case 1, so we'll get to that in case number 2, or 2 or 3, something like that. I know it extends through case 4. And then I got a 2-disc DVD and the Blu-ray of The Living Daylights. So here's the bonus feature disc with the Bond girl on it, and Timothy Dalton as Bond in this one. Living Daylights is pretty good. Someone ends up saying, "You scared the living daylights out of me." So that's where they got the title, I think. It came out in 1987. View to Kill was 85. And then from 1989 is License to Kill. I need to revisit this one as well because I don't really remember much about it, but I only have the Blu-ray of it from that 50-year Bond collection. And then one that was not present in the 50-year Bond collection that should have been is Never Say Never Again. This is Sean Connery's last James Bond movie. I believe this one came out in, looks like 83 as well. So this is a good one. Then we have GoldenEye. We have, I think 009 is in this one as well. From 1995. I believe Roger Moore might have been James Bond in this one. I think he did a good job. Yeah, I recommend that. I recommend all the James Bond movies except for that old Casino Royale from like the 80s. And then on Blu-ray and DVD, GoldenEye is from 1995. This one from 1997. Tomorrow Never Dies. I have DVD Blu-ray. Look at the design on that. That's pretty cool. It's orange and black. Looks like a Halloween disc. There we go. Not the franchise Halloween, like the actual season Halloween. It's black and orange are Halloween colors. Tomorrow Never Dies. Good series, or good show. Good movie. Good movie. The World Is Not Enough. I have the DVD and Blu-ray. The DVD is the same orange, minus the black as the previous disc. So I'm going to show the 1999 Blu-ray. Obviously, the Blu-ray wasn't around in 1999, but the movie itself was. So, World Is Not Enough. I believe this one. No, the next one has Halle Berry as the Bond girl. This one does not. But I think both of those are Pierce Brosnan. We have Die Another Day on DVD and Blu-ray. There we go. The second disc looks the same, but the font on the side here is in blue. And I'll just go ahead and show that. Nice, pretty blue. That one also has the Blu-ray. It came out in 2002. And then I have 2 Blu-rays for Casino Royale with Daniel Craig from 2006, it looks like. So I have 2 Blu-rays here. Both look the same. And then we have Quantum of Solace, I believe. What's the guy's name? He was Galen Erso, I believe, in Rogue One. He's the one of the bad guys in Quantum of Solace. He was the DVD, and one of the Blu-rays looks different than the others. The others you've seen plenty of the times with the Blu-ray looks like this, but it's for Quantum of Solace. So the one that is different than that is this one. This is Quantum of Solace on Blu-ray. I don't have any 4K James Bond movies. I might end up getting some, but I don't have any spots saved for them. You'll find at some points I'll say, oh, there's a spot for a Blu-ray or a 4K of this or something. Or like if there's a sequel that I'm anticipating, like The Nun 2, I have a spot saved for that DVD and Blu-ray, as well as the Blu-ray, the original. Then we have, moving on, we have Skyfall from, I think, 2012? Yeah, 2012, Skyfall. Daniel Craig again. Pretty good movie. That was the first Bond movie I remember seeing. And it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Spectre. The disc looks the same for the DVD and the Blu-ray. So I'll show a Blu-ray. I have two Blu-rays though. So here is the disc. Whether it's DVD or Blu-ray, it's the same. I'll show you what I mean. Looks the same. When I organize my movies, I usually put DVDs first and then Blu-rays right after, unless, like is the case with Iron Man 2 Blu-ray and Rango Blu-ray, those two examples have, the Iron Man 2 has 3 discs. It has Blu-ray disc 1, Blu-ray disc 2, and DVD disc 3. I had a DVD beforehand, so I have DVD, and I have basically a Blu-ray Oreo, where I have DVD, 2 Blu-rays, and a DVD. Okay. Then I have a 2-disc. They both look the same, so I'm not going to show them both. But we have 2 discs for No Time to Die. This is the final Daniel Craig James Bond movie. 007 can continue, but depending on if you've seen this one or not, you'll know what I mean by 007 continues. Then we have 7 Seconds. This is a heist film with Wesley Snipes. It was okay. Wasn't super fancy or anything. R-rated heist film, you know. And then we have 7 Signs of Christ's Return. I started this one, got kind of bored with it. I like the lightning effect on the disc though. Then we have 9. This one was pretty good. It's about these sentient dolls that are being oppressed by machines and robots, basically. It's a good survival story. Then we have 9 Months. And if you thought this was about a pregnancy term, you'd be right. Because this character's, I think, either his wife or his girlfriend or something is pregnant. And so she spends the duration of the movie pregnant and I think gives birth at the end. Off screen, of course, for decency. And it's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It came out in 2001. I'm not gonna say when everything comes out. Just if I happen to see it on the disc, I'll say, "Oh, this came out at this time." And then we got 13 going on 30 with one Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo. I do not see when. Oh, this one came out in 2004. I saw it on the disc there. It's a good story. A 13-year-old version of Jennifer Garner's character wishes she could grow up quicker on her 13th birthday and wakes up a 30-year-old and is shocked to find her boyfriend just wrapped in a towel coming out of the bathroom. Then we have the opposite story where with 17 again. 17 again is where a older man wishes he could be or relive his glory days when he was 17 and ends up turning back the clock on himself to 17 and helping his daughters through high school without letting them know that he's their dad, so it comes up a little bit creepy, but he has good intentions. So, good story, good story. Then, as I mentioned before with the second witness, here we have 17 Miracles about the Pioneer Trek. It's a good movie. It's fun to watch and count the miracles. Last time I did that, I counted 18, not 17. But there we go. I may have miscounted. Then we have 27 Dresses. I have not watched this one yet. I might put this on tonight. I'm pretty sure it's a rom-com. And then we have the first true horror film of the bunch so far is 28 Days Later with the hazard symbol on it. 28 Days Later is a zombie story. It's pretty good. If you're squeamish about blood and stuff, don't watch it. Otherwise, I recommend this movie. I don't have the individual case for it. I think I have the case for 27 or 28 weeks later, which also happened to have this one in it, but it was not supposed to be a combo pack. It just, that's how it played out. Both movies were in it. Speaking of, 28 weeks later, this time the hazard symbol is in blood. They're zombie stories. Cheesy fun. At least I think it's trying to cheesy. Then we have 30 Days of Night. This one is a vampire story where the moon is, or the sun is for some reason eclipsed for 30 days. There is a sequel that I'm trying to get, so there is a spot for the sequel left in my binder. When we're done with this video, I'll show you what the binder looks like when it's closed. It's a kind of a reddish maroon color. Then we have, let's see, 30 minutes or less. I got this in a 3-pack. I returned the other 2 because I already had them. But we'll get to those much later. Those are in the last case, case 12. But 30 minutes or less. I think that's a Jesse Eisenberg movie. Then we have a 2-pack of Adam Sandler movies. It's actually a 4-pack, but 2 of them are under numerical, and 2 of them are, I think, under C. I think. So we have 50 First Dates, hence the numerical placement, and Big Daddy. I've seen both of these fairly recently. They're entertaining. They're funny. I believe Drew Barrymore is in 50 First Dates. Barrymore fans probably won't enjoy that movie. She plays someone who basically has a 24-hour memory span, and as far as she knows, even though like 3 or 4 years have passed since she had a huge accident, for her, a day has passed. One day, because of her memory being affected. But it's a good story. And then one I decided to put under the numbers section, because it has to do with the 101 Dalmatian franchise, is Cruella. I will be showing both discs because I want to point something out about the discs that I'm wondering if it's intentional or not. It probably is, because it's Cruella. It would make sense for this to be intentional. But we have Cruella on DVD, white, as in half of her hair is white, and the Blu-ray is black, as half of her hair is black. I'm wondering if this is a coincidence. I'm wanting to see if the 4K disc is red, because for quite a little while in this movie, Cruella's hair, and she has a red wig on before she decides to go black and white, her hair was red, like actual red, like blood red, not like a redhead like you'd think, oh, this person has red head like the Weasleys. Harry Potter's coming out. Don't worry. So I wonder if the 4K disc would be red to reflect her wig that she ends up covering the white and black with. Then we have the classic 101 Dalmatians. Only on DVD. Here's the second disc. It's different from the first one, so I'll show it. With a bunch of Dalmatian puppies on there. And then we have 101 Dalmatians 2, Patch's London Adventure. The previous one was a Platinum Edition 2-disc special. This one's a 1-disc special edition. And then we have 101 Dalmatians live action with Glenn Close as Cruella. She did phenomenal. If Glenn Close sounds familiar and it's not from this, she's Nova Prime in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. That's where you might know her from. Or that's one of the other places you might know her from. She's in lots of things. She's even the narrator for Cruella. Then we have 102 Dalmatians. This is my personal favorite in the franchise, at least before Cruella came out, because I do thoroughly enjoy Cruella. But this one, the reason this one was my favorite for a long time, Cruella gets turned into a cake at the end. I love cake. I wouldn't eat a Cruella cake because that would be gross, but I do like cake. So seeing just a giant cake at the end of the movie. Then we have 127 Hours. If you haven't seen this movie, Deadpool spoils the ending in Deadpool 1, where he says, "Have you ever seen 127 Hours? Spoiler alert!" I just spoiled the ending too. The guy cuts his hand off. Then we have 300 with a muscular-looking Gerard Butler. He was the Phantom of the Opera in the version that I like most. And then we have the sequel, 300 Rise of an Empire. So it's a solid sequel. It doesn't have the Spartan fun to it because it's not dealing with the Spartans. But I now know the context between Gerard Butler shouting, "This is Sparta!" He ends up, as he's saying that, kicking someone in the chest, making him fall into a well. Yes, it is brutal. Then we have 500 Days of Summer. I've heard great things about this movie. I'm super excited to check it out. This says it's a rental exclusive, but I did buy it. I got it in a 2 for $5 deal at Walgreens. Because apparently Walgreens carries movies now for two for $5, unless they're Blu-rays. Then they're, I think, $3 each or something. Which is not bad. Then we have 1408. This is about a cursed hotel room. Samuel L. Jackson gives a good performance in this one. He's not the main character, he's just a character in the movie. And then we have 3 movies that have very similar titles, and you'll see what I mean, but they're both like end of the world type stories. We have 2012. This one I believe is about floods and volcanic eruptions destroying the world, something like that. 2012 Doomsday. This one, it has a Space Needle on the disc. This one I think also deals with flooding and natural disasters destroying the world. And one I haven't seen that I can't give any thoughts on are 2012 Supernova, but I'm guessing it probably gets killed by the Earth probably gets killed by the sun in that one. And then we have 2047 Virtual Revolution. I'm guessing this is probably a robot apocalypse or something. That vehicle on the front of the disc there looks pretty cool, if I do say so myself. And it's kind of feels longer than it is. It's 127 minutes, but it feels longer. It is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That one's about the submarine Nautilus. Correct me if I'm wrong. The second disc has a different design, so if something has a different design, I'll show both discs. And we have all 4 discs with different characters on them for the A-Team Season 1. This one has that guy. I don't remember his character's name. Might be Mr. T, maybe? Then we have B.A. Baracus on the second page, or second disc, I should say. We have this character on the third disc. Sorry, I've only seen parts of the first episode, so I don't really know anyone's names. And the fourth disc, that black-haired character. Then we have the A-Team movie with Liam Neeson in one of the roles. Liam Neeson's the one on the closest to my finger over here. He's this guy. Then we have. So I have a funny story for this next title. Accidental Love. It's a funny story because the premise is kind of funny. The premise is some girl gets hit in the head with a nail gun, survives, and then finds love. She's dating a sheriff, but then she falls in love with some sort of I think secretary or not a secretary, like a senator or something, and she coerces him into through love to pass a bill to help people who are injured, whether they have a nail in their head or other things. So it's kind of a funny premise. It has Jake Gyllenhaal as the senator character. I think he's a senator, some sort of politician in DC. Then we have the Addams Family Volume 1 through 3. So there's 9 discs. I'm only going to show the one disc because they all look pretty much the same with a different color around the rim, around this center rim. So 9 discs there, 3 volumes. I say 3 volumes. Then we have Addams Family, the movie from 1991. This one features Christopher Lloyd as Uncle Fester. For those of you who Christopher Lloyd sounds familiar to, great Scott! He's Dr. Emmett Brown. In Back to the Future. I hope you got that reference. If you don't understand a reference from Back to the Future, definitely check it out, please. That is one that is highly, highly recommended. All 3 of them are really good. Then we have Addams Family Values from 1993, another Christopher Lloyd, Uncle Fester. I don't remember who any other actors in that were, but Christopher Lloyd obviously stood out because Back to the Future. Then we have the animated Addams Family. This one has Chloe Grace Moretz as voicing Wednesday Addams, and Poe Dameron, Oscar Isaac, that's his name, playing I think Gomez, Mr. Addams. Then we have Addams Family 2. That was a good follow-up. Yeah. Then we have 2 copies of Adam's Rib. This one is a courtroom drama from, I think, when did this come out? I think this one's from the 30s or 40s. It's in black and white. 2 different discs. It's a good story. It's got a few mild action sequences, or it's like a fist fight or something. But it's a courtroom drama. If you're into courtroom dramas, check out Addams Rib. It's a good story. I wasn't all that interested in it, but it is a good story at least. Then we have Aeon Flux. That one, there's a character in this movie who had surgery to replace her feet with hands. So she has 4 hands and walks on 2 of them. Kind of strange, but I like this sci-fi. Then we have I have the VHS tape of the first one. So we have Agent Cody Banks, Destination London. This is the second one on DVD. I have the first one as a VHS, so I have a slot for the DVD as well. Then we have AI, Artificial Intelligence. It's a good story. I can't remember if I finished it or not, but for what I remember seeing, I remember enjoying it quite a bit. So I recommend AI, Artificial Intelligence. You'll notice that most of my collection is DVDs. I do have quite a few Blu-rays and a few here and there for 4Ks, but not very many. I probably have about a dozen 4Ks because I just recently got a 4K player, and so I didn't really have a way to watch them, but now I do, and I have. I watched my MCU 4Ks at least. They looked super good, super crisp. Here's a different design for the second disc of AI Artificial Intelligence. Then we have Air Force One with Harrison Ford playing Mr. President. Can't remember which president he was. I know it's a fictional president, but I can't remember what his presidential name was. But really solid, good movie. Lots of action, good stuff. Then we have Aladdin, the original cartoon, and it's European Blu-ray, rated U instead of G. Yeah, Aladdin's a classic Disney movie. Can't go wrong with Aladdin. Come on, Aladdin, go. Of course, the standout is Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. He brings the voice of the genie to life. I don't think he returned for this one, Return of Jafar, but he was in the third installment. I have a slot for a Blu-ray for this one. I'm not sure if they're available on 4K or not. Then we have Aladdin King of Thieves, which had the return of Robin Williams as the genie. The genie was in Return of Jafar, but it wasn't voiced by. But he wasn't voiced by Robin Williams. I think he was in some sort of dispute or had scheduling conflicts or something. And then on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K, first 4K of the bunch so far, is Aladdin the live-action remake. Will Smith does a really good job as the genie. He shows up, and he's also another character in addition to being the genie, which is cool. Although it could have just been the genie after he retired. Yeah, as you do. Blu-ray is blue. I have two of those because I got a Blu-ray combo pack and a 4K combo pack. Here's the 4K disc with Aladdin and Jasmine on it. He did a good job as Aladdin. She did a good job as Jasmine. Can't complain there. That is the 4K. And then we have Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Or as I like to call it, Alexander and the longest movie title in the world. Right there. Good movie. Enjoyable. Fun for the whole family. It's another one of those backstage video movies that I mentioned earlier. And then we have an 8-pack of Alaskan stories where we have Spirit of the Eagle, Sign of the Otter, Lost in the Barrens, and Call of the Yukon on the first disc. For some reason, they came in 2 separate cases, but were marked as an 8-pack. So if you don't have one, if you're missing 4 of them, it's because they put them in 2 different cases that were both marked 8-pack. And we have Escape from Alaska, Legend of the Ruby Silver, Storm and Sorrow, Walking Thunder, and Walking Thunder, I should say. I haven't watched any of those yet. I am going to show you all 4 discs of the Alfred Hitchcock: A Legacy of Suspense collection because they have different titles on them. I have seen all 5 titles on disc 1 with Mr. Alfred Hitchcock himself on the discs. The discs themselves look exactly the same for all 4 of them. But I'm going to show you them to show you that they have different titles on them. So there's the title for this one. It has The Lady Vanishes, The Farmer's Will, The Mannix Man, Alfred Hitchcock Presents The Cheney Box, and The Sorcerer's Apprentice. The second disc has Rich and Strange, 39 Steps, Secret Agent, I think Champagne, and Blackmail. There are 5 titles per disc. Then we have Easy Virtue, Jamaica In, The Lodger, The Ring, not that ring, and Young and Innocent on disc 3. I've only seen the ones for disc 1, and those are pretty good. And then on the last disc, we have Juno and the Paycock, Sabotage, The Skin Game, number 17, The Man Who Knew Too Much, and bonus trailers and bonus documentary. So it hurts 7 things on this disc. And then we have Alice in Wonderland, the classic cartoon version, the special anniversary edition. That one was entertaining. It's the same story, maybe just a little crisper on the imaging for a DVD. 2-disc set, they both look the same. I'm not going to show off the second one. Then we have Johnny Depp, Alice in Wonderland. Oops, there's a big glare. Oh, come on. There we go. There's a slot for a Blu-ray for both of those Alice in Wonderland titles. The third one that I'm about to show you, I already have the Blu-ray for, and it's the same disc, just in blue. So I'll show you the Blu-ray. So, Alice Through the Looking Glass. There we go. I went to go see that with my ex-girlfriend, who we're not going to name here. But I went to go see that with her initially. I've watched it a couple of times since, so it's all fine. Alien Covenant and Prometheus, I have the Blu-rays from Backstage Video, as well as a Blu-ray 6-pack. I included those two. So I'll show both because the coloration is slightly different on them. So here's the Backstage Video Blu-ray for Prometheus. Kind of see it somewhat. There we go. That's a good angle. And then a slightly different coloration on this disc. There we go. So you can see it's kind of darker a bit. As is the case with Alien Covenant, which is the superior movie of the two. There we go. And a slightly darker disc for that one. I have 2 slots saved, one for each of those for the DVDs. Then we have Alien on DVD. This is a classic version. And the Blu-ray. For the Alien Quadrilogy, the original 4, I have a slot saved for the 4Ks. Not sure if I'll actually be able to get those or not, but here's Alien 1 on Blu-ray. The discs are different between the DVD and the Blu-ray, so I'm going to show them both. Then we have Aliens. And it's Blu-ray. That's from the 6-pack. With a slot for 4K. And Alien 3. There it is. There we go. And cool yellow Blu-ray. Nice. With a space for 4K saved. And then this disc must have come out of a anthology box set because it says Alien Resurrection Disc 7. Not sure why it's like that. One can only guess that it's because it's part of an anthology kit and had all 4 of the original movies plus special feature discs probably. And then the Blu-ray is kind of a reddish color. With a slot for the 4K. And then we have Alien vs. Predator, the theatrical cut. And this looks pretty good. And the unrated Ultimate Edition. This one is improved upon the story. Well, not really the story. The story is basically the same, but it improved on having more gore because Alien movies are supposed to be gory, and the theatrical cut was not. But this one was. I mean, there was still some gore in the theatrical cut. let's be honest here, but not enough for an Alien movie, or a Predator movie for that matter. There's a spot for a Blu-ray and 4K for that. Then we have the theatrical cut of Alien vs. Predator Requiem. No real print on that. Just kind of a red title ring in the backside video sticker. Then we have Alien vs. Predator Requiem, unrated. I haven't watched this one yet. The theatrical cut is pretty dark. Like, the coloring is pretty dark. The characters are pretty dark. Like, the aliens and the predators themselves are pretty dark colored. But I have spots for the Blu-ray and the 4K. Then we have Alien from LA. I thought this was an extraterrestrial type alien. No, it's just an immigrant. Just an immigrant from LA to the kind of a subterranean world. So really, they'd be the aliens and we'd be the regular people, but from their perspective, the girl on the disc is the alien. Then a more traditional sense of alien is Aliens in the Attic. This one's a good family-friendly kind of horror, sort of sci-fi type movie. It has Ashley Tisdale from a bunch of Disney Channel shows and the High School Musical franchise, which we'll get to later. And we have, like in the scriptures, Alma and King Noah's Court. It's a good story from the Book of Mormon, I believe. Yes, that is definitely the Book of Mormon. Then we have Almost Famous, the DVD. I don't recognize anyone on this disc, but yeah, I need to watch that one. I haven't gotten around to it yet. Alita Battle Angel. I have gotten around to this one, and I left slots for the Blu-rays and the 4Ks because I thoroughly enjoyed this story about a girl who has robotic arms, I think other robotic appendages. She might be a full-blown robot, to be honest. Good story. It has the bad guy from Deadpool 1 in it. Then, with a slot for the DVD, I have the Blu-ray of the original Alvin and the Chipmunks live-action movie with CGI chipmunks. And we have the DVD of the Squeakquel with a slot for the Blu-ray. Then we have Alvin and the Chipmunks Shipwrecked with a slot for the Blu-ray. And then we have a slot saved for the DVD and Blu-ray of Road Ship, Alvin and the Chipmunks 4. Then we have kind of an interesting story here. We have the awards edition of American Beauty. It's a movie about pedophilia, basically. Not great, but has some beautiful actresses in it. And Kevin Spacey, who's a pedophile in real life, so that role kind of worked well for him. And then we have American Horror Story Season 1, subtitled Murder House. I started watching the follow-up series American Horror Stories, plural, yesterday, and at least the first episode also took place in Murder House. That one had Sierra McCormick, who a lot of younger viewers of my channel will probably recognize from the show Ant Farm, where her character, Olive Doyle, would always go, "Interesting factoid," followed by a long-winded, interesting fact that was interesting to her character. I have all 8 out of 11 seasons of this, I think. I have Season 1, Season 2, Asylum, Season 3, Coven. That one's about witches. Ooh, nice. I like witch stories. And then we have Season 4, Freak Show. We have Season 5, Hotel. Season 6, what is that? Rowan. Probably mispronounced that. That's fine. Season 7, Cult. And Season 8, Apocalypse. And that is as far in the series as I have. I'm looking forward to getting seasons 9, 10, and 11. I think there's 11 seasons. maybe I'll look it up after the video and make a video saying, or my next video, my next collection video, I'll say how many seasons are in total. I'm pretty sure it's either 10 or 11. Then we have American Made, based on a true lie about coke smuggling. You know, cocaine, that kind of coke. Which used to be Coca-Cola. It's Coca-Cola. And then we have American Sniper. This is a war movie. In the end, the main character, the American Sniper himself, ends up getting killed by a veteran who he's trying to help at the time. I'm not sure if it was by accident or if the veteran like snapped and killed him on purpose, but there you go. And we have Amish Latter-day Saints blending the two worlds into one. This was a good like documentary style series about Amish Latter-day Saints that found the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints within an Amish community and converted and stayed true to their Amish beliefs while accepting that of the Latter-day Saints, or my people. And then we have Amityville Horror, the original one, 3D. I watched it with 3D glasses. Not a whole lot 3D was going on there, which means it's probably just a 2D version, to be honest. But it's called Amityville 3D. I left a slot for a Blu-ray for that one, as well as Amityville 2: The Possession. I left a Blu-ray slot for a Blu-ray for that as well as I have two copies with different looking discs of the Amityville Horror with Ryan Reynolds. Both of these are pretty good. One of them, as you saw, is from Acid Radio. Slot for the Blu-ray, of course. Then we have Hammond and Lamoni, another Like in the Scriptures story. I think that's all. Then we have the Angry Birds movie on DVD and Blu-ray. And then we have the Angry Birds movie 2 on DVD and Blu-ray. For quite a while, I had 2 spots saved for the second movie and its Blu-ray. Then we have, with a slot for a Blu-ray, we have Anna from 2013, I believe? 2014. This one is about a girl who has some sort of behavioral disorder who accidentally kills her parents and has no recollection of doing so. It might even be a split personality disorder. Then a very, very different movie with the same title from 2019, which I like a little bit more, is Anna from 2019. This one is about spies and espionage for the Russian government, KGB, and that's what the Russian government is called, and the CIA, I believe, the American CIA. I have a slot for the Blu-rays for both of those Anna titles. And we have Annabelle, not to be confused with Anna in any way. This is a horror movie. This is about a doll that is surrounded by dark spirits, sort of. You don't ever see the dark spirits, but bad stuff happens around Annabelle. That's the name of the doll. I have a slot saved for its Blu-ray because I want to get the entire Conjuring franchise on dual format. Oh, I guess yeah, triple format because I want to get the 4Ks as well. My bad. And Annabelle Creation. This one's pretty good. I liked how these two only had 2 curse words each. And then Annabelle Comes Home had, I think, 13 curse words, only 1 F word though. They like to type talking about feces in this one. TSH word. Both of those also have slots for the Blu-ray 4Ks. And then we have Ants. I started watching this a while back and never finished it. Can't remember which streaming service I started on. I'll probably watch the DVD. It's only 83 minutes. I should be able to finish that at home. And we're approaching 55 minutes in this video. Then we have Ant Bully. It's been a long time since I've seen this, so I don't really have much to say about it. This is from my Uncle Jeff. He burned his copy and gave me this one. He used to to copy a lot of movies for us. So any movie you see that's copied like that, I thank my Uncle Jeff for. He did so perfectly in a perfectly legal fashion because he didn't sell it to us, he just gifted it to us for Christmas. Then we have Apocalypse Now Redux on DVD. This one's really long. It's 202 minutes, so I haven't watched the whole thing. But I am interested in watching the whole thing from beginning to end. I have slots for the ultimate cut of it on 4K Blu-ray combo pack. And another one from Uncle Jeff is Aquamarine. This one's a mermaid story with a bunch of three main characters that are all attractive young women, probably teenagers. At the time, they were all minors. And something I want to get either individual DVDs or individual Blu-rays. I'm undecided on it yet. Is Arc of Triumph and Cold Sweat. One's PG and the other is rated R. I don't remember which is which. If you're familiar with those titles, let me know which is which in the comments, assuming they're enabled. I'm not sure if they're enabled or not. Then we have Ice Cube in Are We There Yet? Something surprised me. I didn't ask a whole lot of when I was younger. I wasn't the annoying one that felt, Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Like donkey. Then we have Are We Done Yet? This one's about a home repair taking a long time. Then the disc looks the same for the Blu-ray and the DVD of this movie. So I'm going to show you the Blu-ray, and that is Argo. I've never seen it though. So I'll have to check that out at a later date. And then we have the Aristocats single disc special edition. It's a cute story about cats that can talk and interact with other animals. And there's one scene where a couple of dogs are laying guard over, I think, like a giant hay pile or something, or at least they're next to a hay pile. I don't know if they're guarding it or not. And there's some squeaky sounds that go on, and the smaller of the two dogs is like, I think there we have a little cricket bug, and the older dog is like, I'm in charge. I'll decide what it was. It was a little cricket bug. Then we have Armageddon. Can't say much about that movie other than I think it's a Bruce Willis title. And then another Uncle Jeff movie is Arthur and the Invisibles. That's from Uncle Jeff. Then we have As Good as It Gets, which I think I left. Yeah, I want to get the Blu-ray for this one. It's a good story. Jack Nicholson initially did not like this dog on the disc at all because it went number 1 on his carpet. He had to clean up after the dog. The dog's owner is a cripple. His legs don't work, so he's in a wheelchair bound situation. And he ends up having to babysit the dog. Jack Nicholson does. And some lady helps him. He ends up falling for the lady and asking himself, is this as good as it gets? I've got the girl. I'm taking care of a dog that I've grown to care for, as well as its owner, who I've become friends with. Is this as good as life gets, basically, is what he's trying to answer. Good story. Jack Nicholson has a good on-screen presence. Then we have Astro Boy. This is about a robot kid that becomes a superhero. And there's a slot for a sequel for this one. For Milo's Return, we have Atlantis, The Lost Empire. It's a good classic Disney movie. I'm not sure if it's classic, but I think it's classic. And then the sequel's pretty good still, so I'm going to try and get Atlantis Milo's Return. And then we have Atomic Blonde. A sequel was greenlit for this, so I'm looking forward to that, so I have a slot saved for that as well. Then we have Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, and The Spy Who Shagged Me on the same DVD. So I'm going to get 2 individual Blu-rays for that. And then we have Goldmember. Again, I'll get a Blu-ray for it. I have a slot saved for it. And then we have the 9-disc complete series of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Great series. I haven't watched the whole thing in recent memory. From what I did see, I was thoroughly enjoying myself. And then I know I'm gonna catch a bunch of dirt or a bunch of crap about this, but I do have the live action Last Airbender movie. I know it's not a great movie. I enjoy it though. I think it's okay. It bothers me that they call him Ong instead of Aang, but that's about it. Now we have Legend of Korra Season 1, or Book 1, I guess. Book 1, Air, both discs with slots for the Blu-rays. Another thing I have slots for the Blu-rays of is Book 2, Spirits, 2 discs. And something I have 2 slots for the DVDs of is Book 3, Change. Last Airbender also, Avatar: The Last Airbender also went by books. It did. Okay. And then Book 4, I have slots for the DVDs, is Balance. I have a bunch of DVDs. I have 3 DVD copies. Count them. 3 DVD copies of James Cameron's Avatar, the original. 3 DVDs, they all look the same. Then I have a theatrical Blu-ray and a Blu-ray extended edition, which has 3 discs that all look different, so I'll show them all. There we go. I left 2 slots for the for the 4Ks, because I imagine it'll probably be a 2-disc 4K. Then we have Avengers of Justice, Farce Wars. Cheesy as heck. Yoda is apparently the Hulk. So, funny movie. I enjoyed it. Cheesy fun. They have the Jokester instead of the Joker, and Lisp Luthor, because he talks with a lisp. How original. Not really. The Awakening Land. I don't have much to say about this series because I haven't seen it. It has 3 discs though. It's 333 minutes, which I mean, probably 111 minutes per disc. It's divided up evenly. All 3 discs look the same. Then we have Babylon AD. It looks like there's an unrated version and a theatrical version on this. I'm not sure what it was theatrically rated. More of the Jeff movies are the Back to the Future trilogy. Here's part 1, which I wrote the runtime of on. The Smudge. 2, runtime. An hour and 48 minutes. The first one is an hour 56. And the third one is an hour 58. Boom. Then we have the bad guys. This was a pretty good story about characters you'd think would be bad guys that try and do the right thing in the end by stopping a true good guy who you usually think was a bad guy who you usually think would be a good guy because it was a guinea pig. Evil guinea pig. Evil. Most guinea pigs are horrible. I used to have guinea pigs. Then we have Bad Moms 1. There's also a 2 and Christmas special. So I have slots saved for 2 and the Christmas special in that order. Then we have volumes 1 through 5 of Bakugan, the Battle Brawlers, the original series, which I think is better than Bakugan Battle Planet because I haven't been able to get into that show. I did try to get into that show. It didn't work for me. The second disc looks like a Darkest Bakugan. That one looks like a Pyrus. Disc 3 looks Ventus. 4 Aquas, and then 5 has the Pyrus logo on it. So I will go ahead and show that. Here's the Pyrus logo, the OG Pyrus logo. That one looks cool. I do like the toys themselves for the new series, but I haven't been able to get into the series itself. Then we have Bambi, 2-disc special edition, with different discs, like blue on that one. I left 1 slot for a sequel because there's Bambi 2. Then I have a 6-disc Band of Brothers, I think mini-series is what that would be. So they all have different designs on the discs. So I'll go ahead and show them all. We have disc 1 with parts 1 and 2. We have disc 2 with parts 3 and 4. That character on there. Disc 3. Disc 4. We're getting close to the timing on my 31 and 31 that I did on Halloween, which was 115 minutes or an hour 15. This is currently an hour 5. Disc 5 with parts 9 and 10. We have 5 to 6 on disc 3, 7 through 8 on disc 4, and then 3 bonus documentary things on disc 6. There you go. And we have The Bank Job, another heist, an R-rated heist movie, where people try and get damaging pictures of Her Majesty. I think it takes place in London, and they try and find damaging pictures of Her Majesty the Queen, and while they're at it, they make about $250,000, or $250 million. I think they made $250 million, I think, from the bank. Then we have Baptists at Our Barbecue, another good Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints story with an attractive blonde girl on the disc there. I like blondes and brunettes. Yeah, general information. Then we have Barely Legal. The reason that it's called that is because it's about girls who on their 18th birthday are determined to get laid. It's barely legal for them to do so. I want to get the Blu-ray and the 4K of that, as well as this one, Basic Instinct. That one's a murder mystery, an erotic murder mystery. Has Sharon Stone and a young Michael Douglas, young Sharon Stone too. I want to get the Blu-ray and the 4K of that one. I might. Yeah, Blu-ray 4K for the second one as well, but I like the first one a lot better. Basic Instinct 2 isn't as good. And I have the first season of Bates Motel. It has 3 discs all look the same. And then season 3, I haven't gotten season 2 yet, but I imagine it'll probably be 3 discs, so I have 3 slots saved in my case for that. But all 3 discs look the same for this one. They're kind of a black color, the other one's kind of deep like yellowish green color. And then season 4 is a bluish color. I don't have season 5, but I imagine 3 discs as well, so I have 3 slots saved for that. Then we have Battle of the Bulge Wonderland. This is a World War II story, I believe. Then we have Beauty and the Beast and The Sleeping Beauty. These are stage production versions. I watched the Sleeping Beauty version. It's different. Instead of being Briar Rose, she's Rosebud, I think. So it's slight variation from what you typically expect in a Sleeping Beauty story. And we have Beauty and the Beast, the classic cartoon that I want to get the Blu-ray of. And the second disc. Then we have the second one, The Enchanted Christmas. I bet you didn't know that the original Beauty and the Beast cartoon was actually a trilogy. I didn't. And then we have Belle's Magical World in the third movie. And I have Blu-ray slot saved for each of those, and I have a Blu-ray 4K slot saved for the live-action remake with one Emma Watson, I think? Hermione Granger? Emma Watson, am I right? And here's that one. And we have 2 copies of Bedtime Stories. They both look exactly the same, both on DVD. There we go. I'll only show the one disc because they look exactly the same. Then we have B Movie. I once watched it on YouTube where every time they said the word B, as in this kind of B, the movie sped up. I watched the entire movie of however long it is. I think it's a 90-minute movie. I watched it in 5 minutes because of how many times they say B. Yeah. Then I have all 8 Beethoven movies. You heard me right. There are 8 of them. Here's the first and second one. I have seen these two. These are good dog movies, where the dog does not die at the end. This makes it all better. 3 and 4. Again, the dog doesn't die again at the end, so enjoyable story. Not sad or anything. Then we have 5 and 6. Big Break. It wouldn't surprise me if that was a double meaning. Big Break isn't like he takes a vacation and breaks things on the vacation. That would be my guess. I haven't seen it. Fourth or fifth one for that matter. Then we have Beethoven's Christmas Adventure and Treasure Tale. Excuse me. I like the red on the discs and on the first disc. As well. Then we have Beetlejuice. Classic Michael Keaton. I heard they're either going to make a remake, like a reboot, or a sequel to that. They've been remaking a lot of older movies recently. You may have noticed with the Disney live-action remakes. And then we have Behind Enemy Lines. This is another war story. I'm not sure which war, but Owen Wilson and is that Kevin Spacey? And Kevin Spacey are in this. Kevin Spacey is Owen Wilson's commanding officer. Then we have Ben 10, the original series, all 4 seasons. For the discs that have designs on them, I'll show. We have 2 Uncle Jeff discs in here. There's that. Season 1. We have season 2 with Cannonball. That one had Heat Blast on it. Just the Omnitrix logo. Then we have Ghost Freak on disc 2. Disc 3, or season 3 just has the same disc because it's Uncle Jeff copies. Then we have Ditto on season 4, disc 1. And Word on disc 2. There's 3 different starts to the same storyline. But the only difference is the starting alien, basically. Then we have Ben 10 Race Against Time. This was an interesting story. I enjoyed that one. It's a live action Ben 10, classic Ben 10. And then there are 6 slots for volumes 1 through 6 of Ben 10 Alien Force, because I have volume 7, which I will show you right here. And then I'm not sure if a Blu-ray exists for this, but if not, I have a slot for a DVD of the live action remake for the Disney version. This one is not Disney. BFG. Big Friendly Giant. And then we have the live action version, the BFG. Disney's the BFG. And then we have the Bible, the Epic mini-series. Rewatched the first episode recently, and it was different from what I remembered it being. So yeah, alright. The discs have different designs, so I'll go ahead and show them all. Here's this one. And this brings us to the end of case number 1. Case 3 with Christ on it. And case 4 with, I have no idea what that's supposed to be, but it has something on the disc there. Okay. So that is all for case number 1. Now, like I said, I am going to show the case itself. I'm not going to show the case itself for all of the cases, because most of them are just black, but I have a blue one, a shorter case that I'll show. The shorter case I have 2 of, but one of them I use as a waiting room for when I get new titles, because I don't like to sort until I have 20 titles to warrant sorting. That's just how I choose to do things, because I don't like to keep cases I do keep cases themselves, but I don't like to keep them with the discs in them. really need to relabel this, but it is case number 1. It used to be numerical through C's. Now, obviously, it ends on Bible, which is in the B's, and there are a lot more B's after that. Well, not a lot, but at least like 20 pages worth, or not, at least 20 titles worth, I think. So here is case number 1. It is red, and we are now almost exactly the same runtime on this as was in my 31 on 31. So I'm going to go ahead and end here. Stay tuned for later for case number 2, which is a black version of the case you just saw. So I might show that one and then not show any of the other black cases until I get to one that's slightly different. It has three ring binders on either side of it, which makes a 6-ring binder in total. It's a good design. I ended up having to glue the rings shut because they kept opening and making a mess. So I glued the rings shut, and then a few days later I noticed that in doing that, one of the pages was only on a single of the 3 rings. So I'm either going to have to cut the bottom 2 holes on that particular sleeve and glue them back together on the sleeve or on the ring itself, or just leave a B. I'm probably going to leave a B. But I also have 3 gunmetal gray cases, which I think look really good. I'll show off the first of the 3. Cases 10, 11, and 12 are like that. And actually, until last night, I did not need case number 12. But I was glad that I decided to buy 2 cases at once because it was only $40, I think, for 2 cases of 432 capacity cases. This one is 400 exact capacity. Obviously, there aren't 400 titles in here because of the dual formatting thing that I do with a lot of my movies. You'll notice a lot of the times I'll say, "Oh, I'm going to get another copy of this," or get the 4K, or get the Blu-ray and the 4K, or just the Blu-ray or something. So that is that. I'm gonna go ahead and end here at longer than my 31 on 31 at 118 minutes and 5 seconds, 6 seconds.